Hi, my name is Truman Arboghast. I'm here to present my presentation on, let's see, it's called You, Me, and Ouija. I've been traveling around the country talking about this stuff. It's a frightening look into Spokane's local haunting experiences, all right? So we're going to be focusing on tonight. Like I said, my name is Truman Arboghast. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in Ghostly Studies. A little bit about myself. Let's see. So who is Truman Arboghast? I realize I wrote the first couple slides here in third person, so just bear with me as we, grind through the gears here, all right? Let's see. Like I said, I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in Ghostly Studies from Colby College in Maine. Let's see. I also happen to be neighbors to Stephen King during his TNT miniseries phase. It was a good time to be next to him. Kind of inspired me a little bit. I'm currently the host of the popular Bravo TV series Diners, Drive-Ins, and Deaths, a look into America's most haunted restaurants. And was that a creek or a creep? I'm also the author of, you may have read some of my work, the New York Times bestsellers. Those aren't my skeletons in the closet. Should you buy that house where that someone died? And Ghost Trusters, achieving financial stability with your ghostly partner. There's me. So today we're going to be talking about the Arboghastly mission statement. It's something I formed in 1995, just as kind of a personal goal of mine when I travel through to different cities, kind of something to work with the community, to try to build a stronger, haunting appreciation, all right? So the Truman Arboghast, that's me, has always focused his efforts third person, I have always focused my efforts on identifying ghosts and promoting them within the community, and that's what we're here to do today. So, let's see. So if you'll just say it with me, the Arboghastly mission statement is as follows. Enlighten the community on local hauntings and paranormal phenomena. That was okay. We'll move on to the second part, okay? Let's act like we're motivational speaking here, okay? Because I've done this with bigger crowds, okay? Got this? Good. I still care about you guys. Just okay. Second part. Encourage the community to, by any means necessary. I'll just say it, okay? I'll just say it, okay? Increase the quantity and strength of local paranormal phenomena. Sorry, I didn't get angry there. It's just been I was in New York yesterday, okay? Also, I would like to send a special thanks out to the Arboghast Fund and Orphanage for Children with Peculiar Psychic Ability and also lost their parents. It's an orphanage that I found, set up after I visited the supposedly haunted Warbucks Orphanage in New York. After discovering that it was not haunted and occupied by a bunch of annoying, singing, red-headed girls that were definitely orphans, I set out to create a better orphanage for millions, if not the billions, of people in the U.S. that are suffering with psychic abilities and happen to be orphans. And it currently houses 3 children who are still honing their craft at psychic abilities and also miss their definitely dead parents. So where does Spokane stand right now? That's a good question. That was something I asked myself when coming here. Currently, it is number 4,027 on the National Haunting Board's top 19,000 most haunted cities in the world. That's okay. We can do better, though, I think. And also on BuzzFeed, Spokane is listed as number 1,278 in their article, 2,000 Hilarious Gifts That Represent the United States' Most Sexually Haunted Cities. We should be number 1. We should be number 1 on both of these lists. Let's see. So, where are we currently standing? What are Spokane's local hauntings? I'm sure you know about a lot of these, but let's do a brief overview of what we have in store here in the city. So we're about to embark on a journey into the local aura of Spokane hauntings, from ones you may be familiar with to those that no one dares speak about. Let me be your guide, and this is corny, but just bear with me, all right? Let me be your guide as we look into some sometimes fearsome, at times grotesque, and at occasional times kind of nerve-wracking paranormal experiences that await you in Spokane. I made a typo and I liked it. So, maybe you guys have heard of the 1,000 Steps. It's that. There's 60-something steps. It's a local urban legend. You may have heard of this. First one. Okay. It's located at Greenwood Cemetery. These steps are a major part of local haunting folklore. It is said that on evenings much like tonight, or any evenings for that matter, local civilians will attempt to climb the stairs, except their attempted climb usually ends with a sure descent as they run back down in fear. And goes from the cemetery, do indeed haunt these steps. I have been there. The history of the Thousand Steps is it's believed to have once been the main entrance to the cemetery. A trolley train would drop off high society civilians here so that they could head down the stairs and head to a scenic overview and have picnics. That is until trees grew to cover their view. This is historic. This is what I read last night. This is true. As a result, the cemetery was placed there. A local was quoted at the time, in like the 1910s or so, as saying, "I do say, old chap, if these trees wish to take our precious picnic view, we must place our dead by them. Mother Nature the bastard." And they did. So that's the Thousand Steps. We're on to the Davenport Hotel, which you guys have probably heard about. It's a bit of a financial stronghold here in the city. Located in the heart of the city, the Davenport Hotel is said to house several of Spokane's most frightening apparitions. People have been known to check in, but do they ever check out? Thousands of people tend to check in per year, but it is rumored that not a single person has ever checked out and have gone on to be considered missing forever. Is this the most lavish hotel in the region, or is it a death house? Or should I say death hotel? Think about it. Just think about it. I'm just posing questions. History of the Davenport Hotel. Let's see. It was designed by Kirkland Cutter. I want you guys to save that name for a little while, all right? Just keep that in your name bank, okay? Kirkland Cutter in 1914 by order of His Majesty Louis Davenport. The Davenport Hotel is known for its luxurious settings, being the first hotel with air conditioning and its grisly deaths. Also, Crab Louie was first served there. One of the first haunting stories that is known is Ellen McNamara in August of 1920 leapt to her death from her bedroom, falling through the main skylight and landing on the marble floors. Here's some pictures of the Davenport. No, we just talked about some grisly deaths, but look at that mezzanine. And that, oh, so I think there's a bellman, and there's a lot of people that have died there, okay? This bellman's not hiding it for me. I know these things, and this is good. This is good to identify these things, because as a society we need to know these things, so we can encourage them a little bit. Let's see. My theory about the Davenport Hotel, and why these hauntings are so prevalent and so grisly and important, is Davenport is housed in Spokane, Washington. Spokane is a Native American tribal name that was once at one point local to this area. So, I believe during the reconstruction and reservation of this building, Indian burial ground remains were placed within the building structure, lending to the quality of the hauntings of the hotel. This is what I'm talking about, all right? We'll get into this. I have a three-step process of increasing the hauntings quality. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but just think about that. It's brilliant. I think that's what they did. I think if that's what they did, that's brilliant. That's really cool. Just think about it. We have the Doubletree Hotel. This one is also known for its hauntings. Said to be haunted by the ghost of a businessman who is said to have killed himself there in 1998 after discovering the truth of the housing market's future. It's pretty crazy stuff. It's also said to be haunted by the ever-looming threat of Walt and Mary Worthy's Spokane hotel chain monopoly. The Doubletree Hotel is no stranger to mysterious entities. I think we have just a couple more here of some notable historic stuff here in Spokane. The Patsy Clark Mansion, also built by Kirkland Cutter. Remember that name I told you guys to say? I thought something. This mansion is believed to be haunted by the ghost of Mary Clark, wife of Patsy Clark from a long time ago, the guy that ordered the house to be made. Yes, that was not. I didn't. Anyway, it is said that she will throw expensive wine bottles across the room, lift things, move objects, and even make certain spots cold. Whew. That's the hauntings I'd like to talk about. Look at that thing. It's good stuff. Kirtland Cutter. More like the conspiracy of the architect. All right? Kirtland Cutter, huh? Anyone else find it peculiar that this architect was the one between the two most haunted buildings in history? The Davenport and the Patsy Clark mansion? It was the same guy. It's pretty coincidence? Was he architect for the rich, or was he an architect for the dead? I think the last one, given that parting in his hair. So here are just a couple more unknown hauntings of the Spokane area. The following locations I located with my haunting sensing machinery, and I have now identified them and placed them into the Arboghast roster of local hauntings for local cities. These locations have yet to be reported on a national level, so just keep that in mind. So I'm still working on getting this roster up to a better national level, okay? The Red Wagon. Famous for being the absolutely most ridiculous landmark in this city, and for being the autograph locale for Conan O'Brien on his legally prohibited from being funny on television tour. Funny fact. The Red Wagon is believed to be haunted by the giant toddler from the Disney original film Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and potentially the career of that said actor, Daniel Shalkar. Right there. Yeah, his career. Let's take a look at that film. Let's just take a little blast down memory lane.
Is back, and this time he's about to make the biggest scientific breakthrough of his career.
This is some lab. We better know we had the attic, huh?
And once again, he's sharing the experience with his kids.
Robert, Dad! Right, I confess I did it! Did what? I blew up the baby!
Ghosts.
Walt Disney Pictures presents A Little Family Crisis.
Put Daddy down! Stop before someone gets hurt!
That's getting bigger.
Oh my God, he's out.
And bigger.
He's over 100 feet tall. You stop right now! What's that? It's straight from us, Canada. That's my kid you're talking about! I have to insist on these two getting into custody.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is on.
You're gonna tell me, Jacob or Truman? Truman, I don't think the ghost of someone's career from the Disney classic Honey, I Blew Up the Kids is that. No, it's true. The Red Wagon used to be a normal-sized wagon, and when his career died, it died with him. I know. Anyway, here's another, the Pavilion. You guys might know it as since the World Expo of 1974, the famous naked skeleton of a pavilion is said to be haunted by a hip jive-talking disco man from the Expo, and of course the ever-present lack of ticket sales at the IMAX theater. And one last little local thing that is unknown for their hauntings is Manitou Park. It's haunted by Caretaker Jones. Anyway, that's just something to keep in mind when you go there. Just keep an eye out for Caretaker Jones ghost. So finally, this brings me to Spokane's new haunting memorandum. This is what I want to push forth with you guys as a community. This is what we should be doing to encourage a larger haunting basis. Because we've got a good set of hauntings here. We've got a good set of ghosts, but it could be better, I think. So here's what I want you guys to think about. I think it's time we make Spokane a more prominent hub for paranormal activity. It's strong, but it can be stronger. And so can you. Just think about that. We have to work as a community to do this. And you're probably asking yourself, how the heck can I do that? I'm going to tell you. That's what we got to do here. So part of the Spokane memorandum is, here's some tips and tasks. We need to set some goals for our city. How can you be a part of haunting emphasis? It's simple. I didn't even make that a There are many ways you can increase the haunting levels of your city. You can do it from home, at work, or even in public. Tip number 1. Seance once, shame on me. Seance twice, community will benefit. Gather your neighbors, family, friends, children, grab a Ouija board, and communicate with those spirits. Get them out of their shell. Let them know that you're here for them. Don't be afraid of consequences. Welcome them. We want more tourism from our ghouls and ghosts and demons and not to be afraid of them, even if they're kind of on the level of like film ghouls and ghosts and demons that we're afraid of because they will rip us apart. And we got to encourage that. We got to build that up here. We have to do that. There's a seance. That's how easy it is. You get 3 old men with beards, sit around a table and light a huge ass candle in the center. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. We're going to move on to tip 2. You only move the headstones technique from Poltergeist. There's a clip from Poltergeist playing right now, but I'm sure you guys have already seen that. Basically, here's the overview. This technique comes from the film, I already mentioned that. Essentially, take Indian burial ground remains and move them to your desired location. This will cause immediate hauntings, like so. That is all you have to do. Find an Indian burial ground, take it, and move it underneath your house. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. Excuse me. And finally, tip number 3, to encourage community, murder for the sake of ghosts. Just murder. It's that simple. Much like the 1995 film Casper, find people with unfinished business. Kill them, and automatically a ghost will be left in their place. These additional ghosts will add ghosts to our community who will have motivations, desires, personalities, and various hilarities will no doubt ensue. Here's a clip from Casper, and these are the kind of hilarities we're looking forward to.
I'm gonna kill you. Your mama. And all the bridge-playing friends. You think you got a touch? I got a facelift. There was one just like it underneath.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. Let's think about that, all right? My name is Truman Arboghast. Thank you very much.
This concludes tonight's episode of Great Ideas Spokane Today. Thank you for riding with us.